Okay, so here's our August staff meeting, and thank you for joining us. Super staff member of the month of July. Remember, we're always a month behind, highlighting those individuals who went above and beyond for the month of July. Miss Whitney Smith, who works at Holly Ridge Quality, we want to say thank you so much to her because she can take on any role at Holly Ridge with a smile on her face and a positive attitude. She addresses students with respect, a calm demeanor, and she ensures they feel safe in belonging in her learning space. She supports other teachers and staff with kindness. She has meaningful conversations with parents to demonstrate her genuine interest in each student and their family. So she knows to ask questions when she's greeting those children in the morning, making sure she's attentive to the parents as well. And it goes a long way with the parents, making sure that they know and they feel that you have their genuine interests at heart there in the classroom. And Miss Pam Prover, we want to thank her for ensuring our kitchen at Sneads Ferry runs smoothly by maintaining an organized and well-stocked space. She works on efficient meal ordering and preparation every day. She's very attentive to children with special dietary needs and helps the office to keep track of this information and more. And she prepares meals that don't taste as good at home and children regularly ask for. So they always ask their moms and dads to make it the way Miss Pam does, and we hear about it all the time. So thank you to Miss Pam for making our kitchen run so smoothly, and to Miss Whitney for everything she did as well in July. Our August newsletter for this year, oh goodness, it's our last month of summer. So what I did was go into what's happening for the start of the school year because we're kind of in that transition period. Come the 25th, the first day of school, we have our Teacher Enrichment Day. I shared what it is all about to our families. It's not just a day where teachers are going to be laid back, relaxing. It's not a party day, it's a work day. So we want to make sure that they're aware of that. The upcoming events on our calendar. We are closed on the 22nd, but that's our Teacher Enrichment Day. So you will all be at work, but we will have no children. And we will have it at Sneads Ferry. I'll have to go a little bit more into it, including the agenda towards the end of the meeting. We have our gradual integration where the NC pre-Kers will spend one day of the week right after Labor Day in their classroom, and then so they'll transition from private to NC pre-K. You will see those chunks of kids going back and forth. You'll also see that with the kindergartners, and they will be spending time if they needed care at our center the week of the 25th. And the kindergartners for Coastal Dixon will spend some time one day in their classroom, and then at the last of the week they will all go to kindergarten. So you'll notice some kids taking the bus one day, but not the other days of that week. And then for NC Pre-K, some kids go into their NC Pre-K classroom, and then some joining the private program that week. Hot summer day activities, we just gave them some ideas of what they could do at home and preparing for school and building independence. As young as our young toddlers, they are building independence in the classroom. Even our babies, I'm sure they're working on it in their little baby ways. But even the examples I can think of for the young toddlers are that they're starting to wash their own hands at the sink with teacher guidance. They're putting toys away as the teachers are making them as a game and throwing things into the bin and having that accountability for their learning space, their classroom space. And as they get older and we're having to prepare our children for kindergarten, obviously they are way independent. They are ready to go because you guys set them up for success. Making sure that they have those problem-solving skills, they can self-regulate, and they're able to be good citizens in the classroom. So just contributing members of the classroom environment means so much to those kindergarten teachers when they receive our children. Those first few weeks of school, we always have those parents who are also teachers talk about the kids coming from our centers and how they are leaps and bounds above the ones who did not join us for their preschool experience. New hires and reminders for everyone else. I do this every time, so I'm just going to go through it quickly. Please don't park in the front row. If you are dropping off your children, drop them off like a parent would at drop off, then take your car and park for work, either in the lot for the second building or between House of Breakfast and our second building at your own risk. And if you're early enough, that row closest to the street is available. I think till 7:30 is the last spot is usually taken around then. Clock in at most 5 minutes before your shift starts. When you start doing 10 minutes, 15 minutes before your shift starts, it adds up very quickly and it looks like overtime. So Joyce has to go back, check that we didn't approve overtime, and it's just please make sure 5 minutes the most before shift starts. Holly Ridge, you write in your time, so it's much easier to make sure that you're within that hour of your break. Flex teachers should be asking, how can I help? Or if you have your ABC chart for teachers in your classroom, you can just point them in the direction and tell them who they are at that moment. Your teacher B right now, I'm A, this one's C, and you're going to do the B expectation for center time. My children are playing with Nerf guns, sorry. Okay, fantastic July attendance. Look at these names. So these wonderful individuals did not call out and they did not arrive late at work throughout the month of July. So they earned a half day of PTO. Miss Joyce went through, she counted them all, and these are the people who earned it. We do not penalize those who call out. Obviously, if you're sick, you're sick. If you have to come late, I mean, those are all things that everyone may have to do month in. Maybe there's a month that you don't have to, and you get to earn the PTO. But we wanted to really give something to those who put the extra effort in and who are there regularly. So thank you. More reminders, lesson plans. Now that we're getting close to the school year, and we have state coming very soon, I can feel it in my bones. She's coming. We're going to have those lesson plans posted by Monday morning, making sure that you have your standards for North Carolina Foundational Standards posted as well. Your menu that are usually in your mailbox ready to go are posted for the week, and your schedule. You might have a summer schedule right now. Make sure you are getting ready to post your fall schedule. So you might have accommodated for more free choice time or some more lax time in the classroom, where when the fall comes, you're going to have more of a structured schedule. So just make sure you're taking that into account. It's ready to be posted by the first day of school. If you want us to look over it in the office, we'd be happy to do that for you. Just make sure you submit it before that date. Your whiteboard should always be up to date, making sure that when a child walks in, if you're not able to get to the whiteboard right away, you make that mental note or you ask the other adult in the classroom, hey, can you write so-and-so on the board? And then that gets done. And we want to make sure that they're always accurate counts in the classroom, especially when someone comes in to check, or if we have a fire drill, if state comes in for Miss Pam's lunch counts every day, making sure that those counts are accurate are extremely important. On the back of your whiteboards, again, sorry, you do have to have your class list. So what I would do is take a meal count sheet for a meal program. Miss Stephanie can make you more copies, especially when we have that first week of school. We'll make a double copy and you can cut it and paste it right on the back of your whiteboard. So you have first and last names spelled accurately every time there's an incident report or something to that effect where someone needs to know a last name or a birth date. Make sure you're emptying your mailboxes. Charge your tablets. The nap time list, if you don't have one in your classroom, we will be happy to supply it. It's tasks that can be accomplished, one task per day. Don't go crazy now, but making sure that you are taking care of the classroom space, and they should be manageable tasks for each rest time period, and that's why we made that list. Your purses and phones are locked away in the closet. If you choose to put them 5 feet up, please make sure your purses are zipped so nothing starts falling out. Phones are on silent, and then if you need to be contacted, the office will run you that phone. So please make sure your emergency contacts have the office phone number. If you're expecting a phone call, let us know, and we will definitely get you that phone, and so you don't miss those important calls. Supply list by Wednesday. I did not get many wish lists for the school year. Now, wish lists are different than your needs list, right? So for your school year, if you have things that you really would like, but they are not necessary, please make me that list and I will slowly chip away at it with the budget and make sure that I can do what I can with the best of my abilities to get you what you'd like for your rooms. Now, if you already have a calendar in your classroom and the calendar suits the purpose, but you want this cute other kind of theme of calendar, I may not be able to do that. So I want to let everybody know, if you have the things you need, I may not be purchasing all the pretty things that you want right away, because they serve their purpose. They do what they need to do. If you're missing components of something, obviously you need a new one. That's fine. But when the classrooms are well equipped and you have items that work for the room, I am going to most likely say I can't purchase something because it's just a different style. So please keep that in mind. And reimbursements must be approved prior. Don't go on a shopping spree before school and then expect that we're going to write a check for you. So just make sure everything gets approved. If you choose to go out on your own, know that you might be footing the bill. So be careful with that one. All right, reminders. All these are things that I say every time. We don't restrain children, obviously. If you want to guide a child, your hand is flat on their back and you're guiding them. You can hold their hand if they choose to accept your hand, but if they drop themselves to the floor, you can help them carefully go down to the floor, but we're going to have to wait them out, right? So now they're in a tantrum mode and we're going to have to wait them out, tell them we're here when they're ready. We're acknowledging the fact that they chose to do something different than what was asked. And then when they've regulated themselves or they have that guidance to regulate themselves, then we come back and we address the situation that we were trying to support them through in the first place. End of the day, when we are doing diaper changes, just make sure that either teacher of the classroom handles all diapers before the last co-teacher leaves. So if your last co-teacher leaves at 4:30, you should have all diapers or pottying done by 4:30. So the next group of teachers who cover your crew, they are doing spot treatments or they're addressing children who have they're going to reach their second hour mark before they leave. But if it's 4:30 or 5 o'clock, they should be good to go until they leave to go home, unless they have to go number 2 or they have a bathroom emergency. Okay, and noses and faces. Please make sure we don't have any crusties when we go home. So if you need a pack of wipes in your outdoor bag, put that pack of wipes in the outdoor bag. One good wipe while the parents are waiting, they're going to appreciate the kid going home clean. If you remember before the parent shows up, that's fantastic, but snotty noses, they're going to start happening a lot over the fall into the winter time. So one good end of the day wipe as they're going to meet their pickup person, that's going to mean a lot more than sending them home crusty and gross. Supervision in the classroom. Please make sure you are always actively supervising. Sitting on furniture, that's big no-no. If you want to sit with children and engage with them, that is active supervision. So you got to pick your body up, go to a group, and have a plan in mind of what you're going to do while sitting with them. Are you building blocks? Then you're going to start talking about the structure, the blocks, what's going to go in the structure that you're building. Where are they? What's the setting? What other materials might they need? Anything, but you're engaging with them and use it as a teachable moment, especially when you have social emotional skills that are lacking in your classroom. Excuse me. And then you have children who really need that support. Pick those darlings to be the ones you sit with. You're sitting, I had a conversation with a teacher today about magnet tiles. Magnet tiles are a hot item, and everybody wants magnet tiles. Everyone wants all the magnet tiles to themselves. So to sit with that group, you're sitting, so maybe you need to sit and take a break, but you're still engaging with children where you are playing with the magnet tiles. If you encounter that there might be a situation that's about to occur, you can then work with the children to address the problem solving together. If a new child comes and wants to play magnet tiles, you can teach them the language to use when asking, how many magnet tiles can I have? Or can I please have some magnet tiles to play? And then you can strategize with the rest of the students. How can we make it so so-and-so can play magnet tiles with us too? Are there enough for each of us to give 2 magnet tiles to that child? How else could you solve the problem together? And those skills, learning together, they can then apply them the next time you're not there to play magnet tiles with them. But just giving them different solutions to the problems and maybe creating a problem yourself. You could be the bad guy and hoard all those magnet tiles yourself, and you ask them, how would you fix this problem? They're all mine. They're my magnet tiles. I want them. And then you have the child who typically has that trouble to solve the problem for you or be the teacher in that situation. They'll feel empowered, and then they'll be able to teach the problem solving, which means that they've mastered it if they're able to teach it, right? So they just have to follow through the next time. Okay. Incidents. We do have to make sure that if you're outside on the playground, you are actively, like I said, supervising. So you can either be playing with the kids or you're moving and grooving on the playground. Please don't sit and just watch children. It's not going to go well. You're going to have someone behind the structure causing chaos. You can't see them. You have to be actively moving on the playground. When I see teachers clustered together on a playground, it drives me nuts because that in no way is active supervision. I understand at the end of the day, kind of just want to talk to an adult. I get that. But if you guys are back to back and you want to have a conversation and you're actively supervising children, I could see that happening. That's okay. But when you're all clustered together on one section of the playground and no one else is stationed around, then we're going to have trouble. We're going to have trouble on that far end because they're going to be as far away from you as possible when these incidents happen. They're never happening right next to you. It's always on the other side of the playground. So that's why if you guys are spread out, stationed around the playground, actively moving, maybe even playing with them in an organized game, whatever the case may be, the incidents will definitely be reduced because they have no escape. They have nowhere to go and be mischievous little ones over in the corner. They are surrounded by you. So it's good. Surround them. All right. All those biting reports, incident reports, non-injury reports, when you have a child who is the instigator or they caused the harm of another child and you want to write it up in a non-injury, those are legal documents. So please make sure you're using black pen, blue pen, and just the facts. Don't tie in any emotions. Don't assume what a child was feeling, just what was witnessed, like in a detective would say. Okay. So this is a little video. I have shown this years ago about temper tantrums, but I wanted to show it again because we will probably always have children who have temper tantrums, and they range from mild to severe to non-physical to extremely physical and violent. So obviously this video is going to give you an overview and some ideas. There are so many other tools for your tool belt to handle temper tantrums. So if you do find that you have a child who is presenting themselves in a physical manner when they're having a temper tantrum, they lash out at others, and they don't have that self-regulation skill yet taught to them, please tell us so we can come and we can kind of be that fly on the wall. We can watch video to see what that antecedent was prior to the behavior so we can guide and we can help in the classroom, or we can reach out to Amelia or Chantel for support. I'm going to show the video and then we're going to talk a little bit about it. They're the worst. Why does this keep happening? All right, we're going to just go to YouTube and watch it ourselves.
Welcome to Conscious Ellipse in our time together. Today we're going to talk about temper tantrums. Now there's a number of reasons children have temper tantrums. First, they're very developmentally normal from children up to 3 years of age. And young children at that time, they're going to have a temper tantrum from an urgent need that's not met or when they're tired, hungry, bored, or frustrated. Older children over the age of 3 have temper tantrums for different reasons. Generally, they have them because they've been given into, they've had a tantrum earlier in their life and it's worked for them, so they continued that skill as a strategy of getting their way. They have them for unrealistic expectations of parents. inappropriate discipline that's a little bit too punitive or too permissive. And also when they are fatigued, they will do that. And the last one is when they've had too much stress in their life. Those of you who had children, maybe one or more children, you might say, well, how come one child has more temper tantrums than another? Well, this is based on a number of things. First, it's based on the temperament of the child. Some kids are just born easy temperament. They're easy to regulate. They go to sleep well. They eat well. They're just very easy children. Other children are born with very difficult temperaments. It's hard to soothe them. They're finicky eaters. They're finicky sleepers. When they get upset, they can't calm as easily as other children. And the last one, again, is stressors, inconsistent routines, inappropriate discipline, unrealistic expectations, divorce, childcare, death in the family, depression. All these things will affect the amount, number, and intensity of tantrums that children will have. So how best can we respond to temper tantrums? The first thing I want you to hear it very, very clearly, is there's no right way to do it. Different things will be appropriate for different children. But in general, these are some strategies that will be helpful. The first thing to understand is temper tantrums are a nonverbal communication. We all recognize them. The face is red, they're flailing, their arms are going, they're holding their breath. We recognize the temper tantrum. So what are they trying to say? Generally, they're going to say, I'm overwhelmed, I can't handle this. The second one is, I'm trying a strategy that worked last time, and I'm wondering if it's going to work this time because you gave in last time, so all I got to do is scream and shout long enough, hard enough, and ultimately I'm going to get what I want. So one, it's developmental, I'm overwhelmed, and two, you taught the child to have these tantrums. So we respond to these almost in similar ways. The first thing to do is to unhook ourselves. So again, we're going to be a star. We're not going to get triggered. We're going to take a deep breath. And we're going to calm ourselves. Sometimes just calming ourselves puts some calming energy around the child. The second thing we're going to do is that we're going to offer empathy. And we're going to start with the body. Your arms are going like this. Your face is like this. Your body's telling me, I feel so frustrated. So I'm going to say those words again so you can get them. Your arms are going like this. Your face is all scrunched up. Your body is telling me, I really wanted to watch this, or I am so tired. Whatever your best guess is. And from that situation, then you're going to actually just leave the child alone, if that seems what will be best for them, or you're going to pick the child up, put them to your body, and say nothing but breathe at first. And you're going to say, you're safe. You can handle this. I've got you. You're safe. You can handle this. I've got you. Once the temper tantrum is over, whatever the original trigger was, the child does not get out of anything. If they threw a fit about taking their fork to the sink, once the temper tantrum is over, give them a choice. You can carry the fork over in this hand, or you can carry the fork in this hand to the sink, which is best with you. If it was about wearing blue pants as opposed to green pants, once it's over, they're going to put the green pants on. Just give them a choice. You want to put them on when sitting on the floor, or would it be easier to stand up and put your pants on? The temper tantrum does not allow a child to get out of doing something. So why not just let the child flump around on the floor like a fish out of water and ignore, quote, the bad behavior? We want to offer empathy. We want to offer breathing because it's going to help the child learn how to get from the lower centers of their brain to the higher centers of their brain. And you're providing that methodology that and internalize it in the child that they can use the rest of their life. So here's your homework. When you see a child in a grocery store and it's not even yours, here's what you can practice. Just breathe and wish that child well and that family. Put some calmness into the energy as opposed to what the heck are they doing? Add your calmness to the situation. If it's your own child, unhook. Do not take it personally. Take some breaths. Add some calmness to the chaos with your own energetic being. Say to the child, oh, your hands, your feet are going like this. Your face looks like this. Your body's telling me. I'm just so tired and so hungry. And then depending on the temperament of the child, you're either going to leave them alone, give them some space, or you're going to scoop them up and put them on your chest, relax and say, you're safe. You're safe. I've got you. You can handle this. And then once the temper tantrum is over, they're going to go back and complete the task that triggered them to begin. Until next time, I shoot.
Okay. So obviously that's one strategy. And we can probably pinpoint the children that we think that strategy will not work for in our classroom. And that's fine. These are just tools. You may have children who are more receptive to this strategy. And that's why it's one to put in your box, in your tool belt, and you can use it to help them through their temper tantrum. And then after the tantrum's all done, we go back to what was the initial issue, right? What didn't they want to do? What were they trying to escape or show their frustration in doing? You have other children who are going to throw their tantrum and they're not receptive to this strategy at all. And that's why we have all these mini little learning lessons in each staff meeting so that you can take those strategies and figure out what fits best for the children in your room. We may have gone through tons of these strategies and none work for a particular child in your room. And that's when you seek admin support and we get TA, we do the research for you, and we really analyze what was the trigger, what are the triggers. You're writing ABC charts, and we're all diligently trying to support this child so they become self-regulating gurus on their own and they can teach others. But it does take that extra effort from all of us, the village that's behind this kid, to support them. So don't feel like you're on your own. If you have a child with significant needs and everything that you've tried, you tried things for a week and then you tried this strategy for a week and they just were not receptive, please let us know because then we know we have to dive in. We got to get the family on board. So you as the teacher feel supported because your goal is to do what's best for the child. But sometimes we have tried everything, right? So that's why you need us to come and help and provide that extra support and the parents to provide their support from home. Because without them, we are not successful. It's like a one-sided, it's amazing to watch actually when the classroom teachers are diligently trying, they're working tirelessly to try to support this child and help them grow, but the lacks here in the family part, there's nothing going on at home. You don't see that growth. But when you have those parents who come on board and they're gung-ho and they take our suggestions and they work on it at home, that child goes leaps and bounds so quickly. So if you feel like you're not getting the support from home, please tell us as well, because that's when we come in and we sit down with the teacher and the family and we express why it is so important to all be on the same team. So don't ever feel like you're alone working with these kids. Here's another video. This one is a lot longer, but it is a very useful video. I just don't have time to show you the whole thing. It's tying in. It gives you real examples of real classrooms, and it shows everyday integration of social emotional skills. So you may have children who have conflict in this video, and the teacher will give one strategy to resolve that conflict. Or the teacher notices that there will be a conflict, lets it play out. And that's really important to see what the kids will do. Many of us who are parents at home, I find myself doing this. I want to stop the behavior before it occurs. However, sometimes they surprise me and they solve the problem on their own. So to take a step back and be observant of what's occurring, then you can address, okay, so next time, how are we going to make it so that everybody feels like they were heard, right? That their feelings were met. We may not get exactly what we want, but we can compromise. And then that's when the lesson of, okay, so how many magnet tiles is a fair amount of magnet tiles for the two of you to share at one time? Because you both want to play magnet tiles. I don't want to take away magnet tiles. I want to let you play with them. What do you think is a good number? Let's see if we have that number of magnet tiles to share and they are counting them out. Those are yours. If you have more advanced learners and they can do the trading deal, Some of our kids are not up for trading yet, but I'll trade you this square for that triangle. I need a triangle for my structure, and they can do that cooperatively after a while. You're making those baby steps and growing with them to learn in the environment, but giving them the opportunity to solve it on their own first. You really want to see where they're starting. Where's their baseline? Kids who are grabbing and screaming and then they just throw a whole fit, they're very down here, right? They're way at the bottom. Their baselines are real low. So they're going to need more guidance from us. We've witnessed them in action. Where the other one, we haven't seen them in action yet. Just step back and watch. Do they work to solve the problem? Or do they really need that hand holding? And then once you evaluate the first situation of this problem solving for that particular child, then you know where you're going to go next with them or what strategy might work best. So this is about supervision, and this is from the North Carolina rules, DCDEE rules. And it's pretty informative. It goes into the fact that we should be able to hear and see children at all times. Some of our classrooms have a space where if we're in one part of the classroom, we cannot see and hear them all. So positioning yourself in a spot in the classroom, especially if you're sitting with a group and you're doing free choice, but you're in it and you're engaging with children, make sure you're stationed in a spot in the room where you can see and hear the children. With your co-teacher, you can strategize where that person's going to be in a spot where they'll see and hear the ones you would miss from your spot, and you guys can tackle that together. The playground especially, you cannot see and hear all children if you're closest to the building, right? So make sure that someone else is stationed where they can see and hear the ones who are going to be behind the structure. So working as a team, having that communication with each other, it's going to reduce those incidents and it's going to make sure that the children are receiving the supervision that's going to keep them safe. Just standing on the playground or just being in the classroom, it's not the quality that we want in the supervision of care that's needed. So making sure that you're attentive to that. There's other portions in here that you might want to read through, but knowing your kids. So once we start school, you may not know all of your kids yet. You may not know what they are capable of. Maybe they might be capable of walking out of the classroom without you knowing. So that supervision it comes important. It becomes very important that first week of school because you are really just observing these kids in their habitat, in their environment, which is going to be their classroom for the year. So if you observe them in action, kind of know, all right, tomorrow I kind of want to teach this social lesson because they're struggling here. Or little Mikey there, he likes to be right next to the door. So I have to teach him where the safe areas of the classroom are and where he should be every day. Because you're going to have those kids who stand right next to your classroom door waiting for the parents to come pick up. Those first few days, that's where they feel the safest in the classroom. But we have to guide them to feel safe and cozy. We have to guide them to feel safe behind that shelving unit so that they are not right next to that door and become an escape hazard because they will run, they will bolt. And it's when you are turned your back, you're helping another kid, you're doing what you should do with another child, but they're out of there. And it takes no more than, a split second for them to bolt out that door and go for the front door. So making sure that you just observe your kids and supervise in well planned out spots in the classroom and outside. Okay, so I said we were going to go through our EPR. This is for Sneed's Ferry Quality, but it is very similar for Holly Ridge. Barbie and I will go over it tomorrow so everybody's on the same page. So these were the last ones that we had. They were not edited yet for more individuals in the office, but the items remain the same where they are. So we have our emergency supply locations, emergency bags. There's one for every classroom. Please make sure they are always stocked. So if you feel like you need a restocking this week, Band-Aids, you need to check your emergency cards. Make sure when that first week of school starts, you will get emergency cards. Just keep track using maybe one of your meal program lists. of who's you're still missing, because then you can let the office know and we will get you those emergency cards to put into your outdoor bag. If you need medication like inhalers, those go into your outdoor bags. But with the inhalers, you also have to make sure that the paperwork is current and the prescription is current. So if you notice it is not anymore current, please send it to the office. The emergency bags or outdoor bags, they always have to be 5 feet up. Please don't place them on a shelf. They are 5 feet up. They contain items that are not for children within reach, so they have to be at least 5 feet up. If you have a shelf that you normally put it on, Dan put hooks next to the outdoor doors in many classrooms. If you find there's no place in your classroom to keep your outdoor bag safe, 5 feet up or higher, or whatever the case may be, tell me so I can have Dan figure out a way to keep your bag up high. Ready to go kits, we have these big laundry baskets that wheel in the front office that have one thing for the young babies and one thing for like everybody else. And they have all the emergency supplies that we would need. So we would roll that out in a case of an emergency. Fire extinguishers are throughout both buildings, through all three buildings. We just had the fire extinguisher check come. He replaced the ones that needed replacing, and he made sure that the ones that are there work properly. Okay. So if we have a lockdown, it's because something in the surrounding area is taking place and we need to be safe indoors. So that means no one will go outside for play. All of our exterior doors will remain locked. And for people who are coming in and out of the building, we do not let parents come in unless, well, we do a lockdown where they can't use their key card. So we can potentially let them in, but we're on a lockdown. So we're not going to dismiss like regular. We've never had a lockdown where it was during dismissal time or during the time of day when children are actively coming into the building for drop off. So when we've had lockdown drills, typically no one's entering the building. Parents are going to want to get their kids to a safe location, and we can appreciate that. But we have to make sure that we are keeping the building safe. So we turn off key card access to the front of the building. At Holly Ridge, the keypad access, Miss Barbie has control to turn that off. And that way, we have control of who comes in and who leaves, because someone could try to sneak in with a parent who's coming to get their kid to safety. So we just have to be more attentive and aware, and we will man the door manually. For shelter in place, during a shelter in place, it's typically when there's a big weather event or something where we have to shelter, and we want to make sure that the children are safe in the building. Everyone goes to the hallway. We seal everything up with the plastic and tape that we have, so that whatever's outside, whether it's smoke or something that's not safe for us, we seal it the best we can. Everyone's in the hallway, and so we can all be safe indoors. And yeah, plastic bags and tape are as good as we got to seal them off. EPR code words, if you see red folder, that's the bad guy. Red, bad guy. Okay, so don't get it confused with green folder when we have state coming. When we have a red folder, there's an intruder who has come into the building. So they are on the premises, and you need to lock the classroom best you can. We have the stoppers in every room in Sneads Ferry. At Holly Ridge, we have one big open learning space that can't be locked. So in that instance, you're going to cram all your kids into that bathroom, and you're going to lock that bathroom door and keep them in there safe as best you can. When you're in a Sneads Ferry classroom, you're going to try to get all the kids away from the doors and windows after you've shoved your stopper under the door, turned off your lights, close the blinds, make it like nobody's home. It's very difficult to keep these itty bitties quiet, but that's the goal. So if you have a strategy or you guys practice, we will do more drills. Obviously, we have to do one each quarter, but if you want to take it upon yourself as a class, those first few weeks of school, to go through each type of drill, and you can do it calmly and you can do it with all the time that you need, that might be beneficial so that they truly understand what the expectations are. Oh, and your phone's on silent. That was a big one. Evacuations. When we do an on-site evacuation, just means we meet in the front parking lot and everybody goes out the front door, or you can go out your playground doors and go out the gates towards the front. And this is if we need to just evacuate on site. That's where we're all going to meet in the front. Neighborhood evacuation. In our neighborhood at Sneads Ferry, we have 2 buildings. So if there's something going on with building 1, everyone goes to building 2. If there's something going on building 2, everybody goes to building 1. At Holly Ridge, we have a different plan in place, so you'll get that tomorrow. Out of neighborhood evacuation, we have an agreement with Noah's Ark. So if they have a situation in their neighborhood, they'll come to us. Otherwise, both Sneads Ferry sites will go to Noah's Ark. And we will be driving all of our vehicles, stuffing children in cars and vans and buses and taking them over best we can. Out of town, so town of Sneads Ferry or town of Holly Ridge, we are going to evacuate to Harris Teeter in Surf City. So that's out of town. It's a very central location on 17. And then that way it has every resource we would need in that area, and parents can come and pick their children up easily versus being stuck in a one-way location or close to the island where it'll get very crowded very quickly. You're on 17. But we're technically out of town. If we're loss of water, then we will notify the parents. If it's restored within 2 hours, we're good. If it's over 2 hours, we have to close. So we will give the emergency supply of water for drinking. Hygiene and food preparation are always a concern. So if Miss Pam or Holly Ridge Kitchen has already prepared their meal for the day, that's a relief because they can eat, they can rest, and then hopefully the water's back on. But we always notify our families and you guys when those instances occur, especially with all of the construction that's happening. A missing child from the center. Please make sure you are just always keeping count. We should always know who is here. We have our whiteboards up to date. If we come in and say, how many do you have today? You know the number. It is so important to make sure you know how many children should be with you that day. Verify the child count with us to make sure it's not your room that has a missing child. If it is your room with the missing child, you are to call on the radio, emergency to room, wherever you are. We come running, and then we are going to make sure that we double check that this child didn't just wander to another classroom. So we have to take into account, does room 2 have 13 children all of a sudden instead of their 12 children? Well, that's where the child went. And then we will notify law enforcement and families. Lockdown, we already went through those, but red folders when the intruder is in the building. So obviously the walkie system, after we announce the red folder in some inconspicuous way with the adult hopefully not catching on, we will limit all communication unless it is a text message through the Facebook chat, or another way to communicate with you guys would be through ProCare staff messaging, where you can receive it as if you do in the classroom from parents. We have that capability as well. But just communicating with you guys so that it's not heard to the intruder. Then we don't want them to hear what's going on, what the plan is. Never let someone in the building you do not know. I know it's common courtesy to hold the door open for people. And in this instance, don't hold the door open for people you don't recognize. You can say, I'm so sorry, you have to wait for admin, and shut the door. If they get offended, we'll take it over, because they have to understand our number one priority is to keep the children safe and you guys safe in the building. We have so many custody disputes, tongue twister. And we have had instances in the past where a parent had a court order where they could not enter the premises. And to make that known to everybody can be very difficult, especially if we don't have a face to show you. So if you just make sure, if you don't recognize the person, tell them, I'm sorry, admin's going to have to come to the door to see you and check your ID. Shut the door. Don't even have to say sorry, just shut the door. And then you can mouth it to them from the glass on the other side. But to be better safe than sorry is so important. If you see any suspicious activity around the schools, please make sure you let us know. We are near some high trafficked areas, some other facilities, some buildings, some restaurants. So you never know what lurks beyond the playgrounds. So please make sure you notify us. If you notice something weird, it's better to say something than to keep quiet about it. Oh, and playground doors. Please make sure your playground doors are not propped all day long. If you are outside, that is the only time your playground door is propped. When you are coming inside, you remove the magnets at Sneed's Ferry Quality and you lock the door again. It is shut. And once it's shut, it should be locked. We want to make sure that everyone is kept safe. And if somebody has easy access from the outside gates coming in right to the room, that's it. They're in. So we want to make sure that if you're outside playing, of course, prop your door. You're outside. You're having playground time. But as soon as you come in, take that magnet out of there and shut the door all the way. Weather-related emergencies, if there's a hurricane on its way, we're in hurricane season now, so it might happen, but we get ample warnings from to know. So we've never been in this emergent knock on wood situation. But if we are, they're going to go into the hallway. They're going to sit crisscross. We're going to cover our heads together and we're going to lean forward and cover our heads. And this is only if something is going to happen at that moment. Like severe high winds are expected at that moment. There's a tornado, extreme severe weather. If a hurricane's on its way and we can make sure parents come pick up their children in time, obviously that's the way we're going. We're not going to stick around and wait for it to get terrible. But we always have ample warning. Loss of electricity. So we talked about loss of water, and loss of electricity really has to do with the temperature of the building. That's going to be the determination of if we are open or closed. As long as the building stays between 65 degrees and 85 degrees, we can stay open. In the heat of the summer, our rooms get hot real fast because there's no ventilation besides our HVAC system. So if it goes above 85, we do have to close the center for the day or until it's restored. We can be served meals that don't require heating, and Miss Pam can serve, sandwiches and things like that. And reasonable amount of time is what state says. So if it's not remedied within a reasonable amount of time, then we will have to close. But technically, the reasonable amount of time has to do with the temperature of the building. So if any room exceeds 85 degrees, we will have to close, or goes below 65 degrees. Okay. Oh, keep in mind, is this on there? So if you see fire and smoke, something's happening. Just keep in mind our fire alarm, the pole in the front of Sneed's Ferry, does not do anything. It does not call emergency services. We have to call 911. So please make sure if you notice something, tell us, or you go ahead yourself and call 911 and make sure that they are on their way. Pull the alarm so everyone evacuates the building, but we do have to do both things. So that pole in the front of Sneed's Ferry does nothing to call. It just warns us all that there's an emergency. At Sneed's Ferry's second building, the pole does call emergency services, and at Holly Ridge, the pole does call emergency services. So the main building of Sneed's Ferry is the only one that doesn't do that. So keep that in mind, please. When we're doing a fire drill, please make sure, an actual fire, on the radio, when we're calling on the walkie-talkies for your room, you're going to say room, let me use room 2. Room 2, 12 out of 12 students and 2 out of 2 teachers. So that means you have all 12 kids who are supposed to be there that day and your 2 teachers. If you don't have all 12, maybe you have 2 who are in therapy, you're going to say 10 out of 12 students, 2 out of 2 teachers accounted for. And then you can give us the missing names of the children because the therapist may have gone out with a different class and we need to track them down, that they're not in the building anymore. So you can say we're missing Mikey and Adam, and then we know where Mikey and Adam are once we get to the next classrooms. Maybe they're in room 6. The therapist took them with room 6 outside. So they will have a surplus of children in room 6. They might say 14 out of 12. They were expecting 12. They have 14 because Adam and Mikey are here in room 6, safe and sound, and the therapist. So making sure that that communication while you're listening to the walkies also, you're listening for your room, but don't stop listening once you give us your numbers. Please keep listening until all rooms have been called. And that way we can make sure that everybody's accounted for and no one's stuck in the building. Okay, so these are the emergency medical care plans. They are posted in the main office on the bulletin boards in every building. These are just for Sneads Ferry and Sneads Ferry 2. It goes over the poison control number to call which hospitals, who can give first aid. Everybody, after 90 days of being employed by us, you have to have your first aid CPR. So everyone who is first aid certified has the ability to jump into action. And then making sure that if you are calling emergency services, that you are the one who's communicating about the incident. You have to be there present. If you are not witnessing the event, it's difficult to relay the information to emergency services. So whoever's calling has to be present while others are using the defibrillator. That's what I wanted to do today. The defibrillators in Holly Ridge and Sneads Ferry, I wanted to crack them open and show you what was in each one, but I'll do that next time. But you've gone through CPR training. They are very much identical. All the systems are the same. We have defibrillators that have the child pads and the adult pads. So know that the child pads will fit and the adult pads will also fit a child, but you have to do one in the front and one directly on the back if it's a child using adult pads. But I really just wanted to go over that. And then it goes to the directions for you with the defibrillator. So in case of emergency, if we have a situation, God forbid, defibrillator goes, someone with their phone goes, and then somebody who's going to perform the CPR is there. And if you're not comfortable performing CPR, you have to say something because we are obligated, right? So we want to make sure that if you're not comfortable, we're throwing that person in right away to take care of it. You can be on the phone with emergency services and tell me that you want me to do CPR, but I will dive in. You have to communicate in cases of emergency. Okay, so let's go on to Teacher Enrichment Day. It's coming up on August 22nd. That is next Friday. It's going to take place at Sneads Ferry's main building from 8 to 4. If your child needs care, please tell us. I only got one person telling me that they need childcare that day. So if you need childcare, I really need to know because we're going to ask the high school apprentices to care for the kids, and they will care for them in building 2 or a classroom in building 1. It really depends on who wants to work in their classrooms afterwards from 12 to 4 and where we can put the kids so they're out of the way for teachers who want to work. Admin is providing breakfast that morning. So at 8 a.m. when you get there, there'll be a spread out in the hallway. Help yourself. And you can chit chat and everything until I start up the meeting. There's going to be a potluck lunch, which we're excited about. Miss Barbie put together the Sign Up Genius. If you would like to contribute, thank you very much. If you cannot or don't feel like it, not a big deal. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of food. So just enjoy the food that is brought. It's a chance for people to bring things that they like to cook and share with others. And my only request to Miss Joyce is that she makes tortellini. And my other request to Miss Joyce is that she makes her mud. And then I think we could just all survive on those 2 things. But if you can contribute something, that would be fantastic. Trainings with certificates and contact hours. So Aiders crew, you're going to have your own training. Eckers and Sakers, you're going to have your own training. You all get certificates with contact hours. We were able to get Amelia to teach one and Chantel to teach the other. They're fantastic trainers, and I think we picked very meaningful trainings. I don't like when people give you things you can't just walk away with and implement. That bugs me. The reason we take these trainings is so you can take tools, put them in your tool belt, and use them. Otherwise, what's the point? So hopefully you get something out of it and they're meaningful. From 8 to 12, trainings, workshop, enrichment. I'm going to throw the raffle in there and we're going to do it in a way so that hopefully everybody wins something. From 12 to 4, you're working in your classrooms. Now, that doesn't mean you have to leave at 4. You can work until, midnight if you feel like it. But we are paying everyone for a regular work day from 8 to 4. So just keep that in mind. You're welcome to stay as long as you'd like. And then, as an added bonus opportunity, on Saturday, the next day, so if you didn't finish your room and you're leaving at 4, the day after that Saturday, you have the ability to get up to 8 hours of paid work time. Now, if you're a salaried employee, I'm very sorry, I can't pay you extra than your salary. So just keep that in mind. Salary people, you're not getting more money, but you're welcome to work in your room. If you are an hourly employee and you would not get more than your hourly wage, you will get an opportunity to earn 8 hours, no more than 8 hours worth of pay for Saturday. That means, I mean, you can work more than 8 hours, but that's all we can pay. If you are a flex teacher and you want to get paid for that Saturday, I have a nice laundry list of jobs. You will not be bored. You will be busy. So if you want to work on Saturday and you are a flex teacher, come on down and we will put you to work. There's lots of classrooms who need extra support in getting their classrooms ready, especially our new teaching teams. So just let us know. If you cannot go to Teacher Enrichment Day and you are not already scheduled out, come see me because I need to know that and why you cannot go to work that day. This is the agenda for the teacher workday or teacher enrichment day. Ms. Barbie put it together for me, so thank you very much. So we're going to have welcome activities from 9 to 10. I'm going to do my little PD, my little meeting. From 10 to 12, we're going to have classroom management trainings. There's one for ITers. There's one for ECHRs. The ITers one starts at 10. The ECHRs one starts at 10:30. So for ECHRs teachers, you have that extra half hour to do something. You can just run to your room real quick and work for a half hour if you'd like, or ask admin for some questions or support. Whatever you need to do, you have that half hour. Lunch and bingo with prizes. We have, oh, we're doing bingo. Okay, so we do bingo instead of a raffle, which is more fun. Everybody likes a good game of bingo. And then from 12:30 to 4, you're working in your rooms. If you're Holly Ridge, you're going to go back to Holly Ridge and work in your rooms. If you're Sneads Ferry Building 2, you're going back to Building 2. And then there's a whole list right there of things that you can do, strong suggestions of what to do, so you don't run out of things to do. So up until 4 o'clock, you should have a nice list of priorities of what to take care of so you feel ready for Monday, because Monday's the first day of school, right? You're going to get a new crew of kids. They've moved up to your room. If you're NC pre-K or 3 school, you literally have a new crew of kids. And we want to be prepared. We want to make sure that the children feel welcomed. That means labels on things. That means welcoming letters to families, the all about your teacher flyers. I really would like every classroom to have, it doesn't have to be a packet, maybe just a 1-pager of welcome to room. I'm going to say 2 again because I'm just on room 2 for now. But welcome to room 2. What can I expect as a new toddler parent? And then you're going to give them all the things they can expect. What can they bring to school? What can they keep in school? What do you do for them every day? What are they expected to do? Just things that parents would be curious about. I have examples in PDF form I can share with you. They come from other centers where they actually have a packet. So kind of pick and choose what you would prioritize on your sheets for the parents. If you need help typing them, I'd be happy to help you. I know Amy's helping with the Teacher All About Me flyers. So I have examples of those as well. And we just want to make sure that you are presenting yourself to families so they feel comfortable bringing their child to school every day because it's a big deal. Some of them have never done this before and they need that little bit of reassurance and support. I adjusted these classrooms. Who knows? Maybe it'll change again next week. So this is what it looks like right now. Room 5 is the one classroom where I don't have a lead teacher for the room yet. Now, that doesn't mean that things aren't going to change, but right now, these are the teaching teams for each classroom. If you find that you are in a space and you'd like to change your space assignment, you have to let us know because we are literally right around the corner from school starting, and this is what I have. This is what we got. And we want to make sure everybody feels excited about the school year and ready to work with their teaching partner. So if you are not feeling those things, please come tell me because we're down to the wire now. End of summer, Thursday, 8/21. That is the last day of summer camp. School age, Holly Ridge, and Sneads Ferry will be on the big playground for a majority of the morning. So if that's normally your playground, that Thursday, you will have no access. I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to plan a different playground. So please tell me if you don't know of which playground to go to, and I will tell you where you're going. And so you get to have your outdoor time that day. They will have a bounce house water slide on that big school age playground. So we don't want anyone younger than school age on that playground for safety reasons. Pelican snowballs will be coming as well. All teachers will have the treat. Joyce and myself are treating you guys for pelicans. It'll be a small pelican, and you can place your order. Go out there. I'll tell you when they've arrived. And then, but it is only summer campers for school age who are getting the pelicans, no other students. So please don't tell your graduates that they're getting it. No, this is not for them. This is for school age summer camp. The last week of water play, if you chose this week, great. If you're choosing next week, just make sure you're notifying the family so that they are aware. After this week, no more summer water play, and then we're in school mode. Okay, so they're aware. Spend time talking to your co-teacher. If you guys are new to each other, let's start getting to know each other. Let's work out a plan. What are my weaknesses? What are your weaknesses? What are my strengths? What are your strengths? How can we support one another? If you don't have strong communication, it's not going to go well. So lay it all out there for each other. The more you know about each other and what your needs are as an educated professional, you're going to do so well because you know how to support each other. The All About Me flyers, like I said, the welcome to the classroom info sheets. Please make sure you have them to us no later, just so I can read it over. Grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes, we don't want to present ourselves that way to families by August 21st, so before the teacher enrichment day. These are some examples. I got these off Canva. I have a Canva membership. So if you want to write it out and I'll plug it into these templates for you and print it out, I'm more than happy to do that. So you just have to give me the context to put in. Trunk or treat. Last year we had over 400 children who came. This, I want to make sure if you have it, your teaching team wants to do a trunk or a table, your family, maybe you sell things on the side, maybe you provide a service, maybe you just want to host one of our make and take crafts at your table or trunk and have fun with us. You're welcome to do so. Just let me know. And if you know any vendors, people who are selling things, or you know a food truck, God, just let us know and we will try to get them to join us as well. If you want to work the event, you cannot be in charge of your own children while you're working the event. You can work up to 5 hours because it is 5 hours worth of work. Setup begins at 11, cleanup at 5, ends around 4:30. And then we're looking for donations of candy. I have a letter, a generic letter that thanks the establishment that donates the candy. So if you wanted to help me get some candy, because we need a lot for 400 kids and all these trunks. So if you would like to help get on that, Miss Barbie and Miss Rachel really tackled it well last year. We got a ton of donations from community members. These are our different resources. Please click these links and use them. We pay for Twinkle. We pay for conscious discipline. We pay for teaching strategies. So use this slide, click these links, and use these resources, please. Cox Campus's free courses, and then your trainings that must get done. Miss Ruby has her beautiful PowerPoint that will guide you step by step on how to finish your health and safety training. So if you have yet to do those, get them done. And if you have questions or comments, we have an open door policy, message at any time, and I will get it back to you. I'm probably awake at that time. So message us and call me if you need me. So that way you guys are in a work environment that you enjoy and you feel like we are there to support you versus you're afraid to say something and then things grow and fester and you get miserable. So make sure you're always talking to us. So Joy says if we don't know there's a problem, we can help you find a solution to it. So you got to tell us so we can help you or at least support you or understand where you're coming from. All right. Anyone, Joyce, anything to add? No? All right. Hold on, you're muted.
Nope, I don't think so. I think you got it all.
All right. Have a wonderful evening, anybody, and see you tomorrow. Bye.